Project started, none finished. A shelf full of books, you stopped at chapter 6. A guitar you haven't touched in months. Tools for a hobby you were obsessed with for 3 weeks and now can't even look at. And every time it happens, you add another word to the list. Lazy, unfocused, undisciplined, can't commit, can't follow through. Your mother says it, your partner thinks it. At work they've noticed. And the worst part, you believe it. Because at this point, the evidence is sitting right there in front of you. A pile of things you started and stopped, and no idea why you keep doing it. Today, I'm going to give you the explanation. Then we'll talk about what to do with it. When I was playing RPGs about a decade ago, and I mean seriously playing, not casually, you start with a ladle on your head as a helmet, and a wooden spoon as a weapon. Everything can kill you. Every fight matters. A single coin means something because you're saving up for that first real sword. You play all night because you need to know what's in the next dungeon. Weeks go by. You grind, you level up, you get better gear. And then one night you look at your character and he's wearing interstellar atomic armor and carrying a laser cannon that kills everything in one shot. You worked all those nights for this. This is what you wanted. And you feel nothing. You walk through the map and nothing touches you. Enemies die before they reach you. Loot doesn't matter because you already own the best of everything. The game isn't over. There's still a final boss, some side quests. But you already know you're not going to finish it. You close the laptop and never open it again. That wasn't laziness. That was your brain running out of unknowns. When every fight is won before it starts, there's no reason to keep playing. The engine shuts off. This is what's happening in your neurochemistry every time you lose interest in something you started. The key is dopamine, but not the way most people understand it. Dopamine is not the chemical of pleasure, it's the chemical of anticipation. Your brain releases dopamine when it detects a gap, a question it hasn't answered, a problem it hasn't cracked, a skill it hasn't figured out yet. The moment your brain decides it already knows how the thing ends, whether that's a project, a skill, a business, a career, dopamine drops, hard. And whatever was keeping you at the table drops with it. You didn't get lazy. Your brain ran out of questions. There's a piece of this that gets missed though. This doesn't happen to everyone at the same speed. Some people can do the same job for 15 years and feel fine. But if you're watching this video, your brain probably runs on novelty faster than most. You learn quickly, you spot patterns early, and you burn through the interesting phase of things before you ever get close to finishing them. What comes after the crash is worse than the crash. It's your mother saying, "So now you want to do something else? What happened to the last thing?" It's your partner giving you that look, tired, like they've stopped believing you. It's a colleague who laughs. "Oh, right, another new plan." You could take all of that if your own voice wasn't repeating it back. Maybe they're right. Maybe you just can't commit. Maybe there's something wrong with you that other people don't have. That voice doesn't just sit with the last project you dropped. It follows you into the next one. You carry it into every new thing you try. The excitement wears off a little quicker. The guilt arrives a little sooner. And at some point, you stop starting things altogether. Not because the curiosity dried up, but because you'd rather do nothing than prove them right one more time. That's where the real damage is. Not in the abandoned projects, in the ones you never touch because you already know how the story goes. I know this because I've lived it. I've started more projects than I can count. And with AI tools today, ChatGPT, Claude, whatever you use, the cycle has gotten worse. You can brainstorm, plan, research, and get excited about 30 different ideas in a single week without doing a single real thing about any of them. The dopamine of what if is available all day, every day, and it feels exactly like progress. It's not. It's just creating a new character over and over and never getting past the first dungeon. The only thing that broke the cycle for me was picking one idea and starting it for real. Not a good idea, an idea, and staying with it after the excitement wore off. staying with it when the voice said it wasn't working, when I wanted to drop it and move on to the next thing. What I found is that pushing through, even when it feels dead inside, sends a message. Your brain registers it, the people around you register it, your partner sees it. I'm still here, I didn't leave. And over time, that changes more than any amount of planning ever did. So what do you actually do with this? First, before you start anything new, decide what it is. Is it an experiment or is it a commitment? An experiment is something you explore, take what you need from, and drop. No guilt attached. A commitment is something you finish regardless of how you feel about it halfway through. Most people who quit everything have never separated the two. They treat every new interest like a life decision, and then feel destroyed when they walk away from what was really just curiosity. Give yourself room to experiment freely, but pick one or two things that actually matter and finish those no matter what. Second, when the excitement dies, and it will, don't try to get it back. That's chasing dopamine you already spent. Instead, make the next step so small your brain doesn't bother fighting it. Don't tell yourself you'll work on it for 2 hours. Tell yourself you'll open the file. That's all. Just open it. Most of the resistance is in the first 5 seconds. Once the file is open and you're sitting there, you usually keep going. And if you don't, you still showed up, which is more than the day before. Third, make quitting cost you something. Victor Hugo gave his clothes to an assistant and locked them in a chest so he couldn't go outside. He finished The Hunchback of Notre Dame 2 weeks before deadline. You don't have to lock your wardrobe, but you can tell someone your deadline out loud. You can pay for the course before you start it. You can tell a friend, if I don't finish this by April, I owe you €100. When excitement is gone, you need a reason that has nothing to do with how you feel. Owing someone money or looking bad in front of someone you respect will keep you at the desk when dopamine won't. One more thing. The 30 projects you started and dropped are not the problem. The problem starts the day you stop beginning, when you'd rather sit still than risk quitting again. When you watch other people build things while you wait for the one perfect idea that will finally make you follow through. That idea is not coming, but the 31st project might be the one you finish. Not because it's better than the other 30, because by the time you reach it, you've been through the dead stretch enough times to know it passes. You've learned to keep going after the game stops being fun. You don't get there if you never start. This channel is about the kind of brain that doesn't work the way people expect it to. How it learns, where it gets stuck, what actually helps. If that sounds like yours, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.